Now, libraries are still the place to be to quench your thirst for knowledge. Books may be competing with modern technology and other forms of entertainment, but younger learners should still be encouraged to visit libraries often. It's for this reason, rather, that Avbob and Oxford University Press are embarking on a national tour across the country to try and make a difference and promote reading and learning. Social Programs Manager at Avbob, Morne, Scholtz, and Lucia, Ndabula, who is the National Education Manager for Oxford University Press Southern Africa, join me now in studio to tell us more about this initiative. Thank you both so much for your time. We do appreciate it. I always say that I'm probably very old school because whenever I see a library, I get very excited because it's just a wealth of knowledge in a building. It's absolutely fascinating. But it's quite sad to see that we don't really have many libraries today. You know, it's very difficult to actually find a library. I'm going to start with you, Morne, about this initiative and why Avbob has decided to embark on this, you know, the importance of it.
Okay, so the Avbob Foundation was founded in 2012, and our flagship project is our container library project. To date, we've donated 61 of those across the country. That project is aimed at schools that have an enrollment of greater than 600 learners. The trolley library was sort of developed to cater for schools with a lower enrollment, and this is sort of where the Road to Literacy campaign was sort of born. It allowed us to reach more schools through this initiative. So last year we donated 180 trolley libraries through this campaign, and this year we're looking at improving it.
Maybe we can bring you in here, Lucia, as to how you are going to be brought into this initiative to make sure that it's fulfilled.
Thank you very much. So Oxford has partnered with Avbob to deliver on these trolley libraries, and the way in which we are going to do it, we are contributing a variety of reading texts, which includes our dictionaries, homegrown reading series. We are growing written by local authors like Gcinam Mhlophe and Eileen Powe, to name but a few, and also wall maps and wall posters to ensure that the environment in which children are is print rich, and continuously expose them to words, and so that it can really build their reading capability. And we do so in African languages. So
I'm going to come back to you now, Morne, but I think that's such an important aspect of all of this, and I know the theme is the importance of your mother tongue. And, you know, often we neglect that. We just want to speak English because everybody understands it. And that's not the case. I mean, if I tell you what my mother tongue is, people will be like, what? I don't believe that. But why is that important to make sure that the theme is mother tongue, for people to read in their mother tongue?
Yeah, as Oxford University Press, we really recognize the importance of reading for meaning and being able to write in mother tongue before you can transfer those literacy skills to a second language, which in most instances, of course, it will be English. So mother tongue is the language that children come into contact with. They learn to think in that language. They learn to communicate in that language. Their environment enables them to acquire these skills, you know. And so research shows that once children have built those literacy skills in their mother tongue, they have a sound foundation to transfer those skills to any additional language that they may need in future. In this case, most learners in grade 4, they switch to learning in English. So if you have strong literacy skills, being able to read, write, and communicate in mother tongue, those are transferable to English. And so we are removing the hurdle of language as an impediment to achieving educational outcomes. So when children are able to read and write, they are on a sound foundation to be successful, to stay in school, to reduce the dropout rate, and for children to be engaged, appreciate their culture, because language forms part of who they are. It's a whole thing, so they will understand their language, be able to read, write, and communicate, understand their culture, love their culture, be exposed to stories where they can see themselves because the contexts are relevant, and also understand their folk tales, and then from there you add another language. So the second language that you add should not replace home language or mother tongue. It should be an additional language, and that is what experts are advocating, and Oxford is advocating for additive bilingualism.
Certainly, and just to be comfortable, you know, it's very difficult to learn in a language that you don't speak at home, and you just have to, you know, get accustomed to it at school, and it obviously affects learning. Morne, I just want to bring you in here as to, you know, the theme is not the importance of mother tongue, but then will this initiative also be moving into, for example, rural areas and township areas? Because, you know, oftentimes you sometimes don't find libraries in those areas.
So last year, the campaign is open to all schools in South Africa. However, the majority of the schools that won the campaign last year were from previously disadvantaged schools, which is really what we wanted as both brands to be the target. We wanted to reach schools that don't typically have access to libraries. So this year we'll be donating 260 trolley libraries. They'll be available in the 11 official languages. Each trolley library will have 500 books, and each trolley is also valued at 50,000 Rand, bringing the campaign value to just under 13 million.
So just lastly, Morne, and I'll come to you now, Lucia, how does one get involved? You know, if somebody's watching and says, I would really like my community or my school to benefit from this campaign, how does one get involved and help out?
Sure. So we're asking the public to nominate schools that they deserve, that they think are deserving. They can visit our website, www.roadtoliteracy.co.za. They'll complete the nomination form. They'll receive then an SMS to say that the application has been received. And the entries close on the 14th of April. And we're very excited. Last year, within the first 10 days of the campaign, we had only reached about 800 nominations. Yesterday at 4 o'clock, we were already sitting at 2,900 nominations. So we're definitely expecting a big influx of entries this year.
Lovely. Please invite me to one of the libraries. I love libraries. And just lastly, Lucia, I'm sure this is also important for Oxford because, you know, what did our former president say? A reading nation is a winning nation. And especially when you are in underprivileged environments or when you don't have access to books, it becomes very difficult, and it's rather sad to see. So I'm sure this is why Oxford University has decided to jump in on this, because of the importance of reading.
Yes. So our mission is to transform lives through education, and we know that being unable to read with understanding in any subject is already a hurdle for you being a successful a citizen in society, you know, in terms of education. So that this resonates with us, because what the opportunity this will give us is to make sure that the publications that we publish in all the official languages actually reach the learners that would, in normal circumstances, not have access to these books. So it's a campaign where we feel, as Oxford, no community will be left behind. So whether a community has migrated to digital, where they can access our reading materials on our reading platforms at the push of a button, where there is connectivity, or whether the community is in the rural areas where they still use print books, all those communities will be catered for. So we are super excited that we are able to add more schools this year and advance our mission.
Certainly, and we thank you for the work that you're doing. I think it's so important. You know, oftentimes people neglect reading in your mother tongue, so it's a great initiative, and we wish you all the best. And don't forget my invite.
Thank you
so much. That was Lucia Ndabula and Morne Scholtz.